This is the story of a 13-year-old boy who has suffered from very severe blunt ocular trauma. When he presented to the clinic, as you can see, he had a severely subluxated crystalline lens and a traumatic mydriasis of approximately 10 to 11 millimeters. My first problem was how to remove this crystalline lens, and the choice that I made was to perform a 3-port pars plana lensectomy, and with a little bit of indentation superiorly where the lens was still attached through or via the few zonules, I was able to centralize the lens, and after modulation of my vitrectomy settings, putting them on extremely high vacuum of approximately 300 to 400 millimeters mercury and a low cut rate of approximately 800 to 1000, I was able to very neatly and steadily remove that lens. The trick during performing this lensectomy was to always eat from the edges in order to avoid any fragments falling into the back of the eye. Again, with steady indentation, very slow cutting, I was able to successfully remove the entire lens back complex. The next problem that we faced after removing the crystalline lens was, how am I going to implant an IOL? Well, the normal choices are not available in terms of in the bag, sulcus, or an iris fixated lens. So I opted for an intrascleral tunnel technique, and the reason why I did so is because if I had performed a scleral fixation, as we all know, the 10-0 proline suture, which is available in Egypt, only lasts for around 10 years. And since the boy is young, there is a chance of having a late subluxation or dislocation of the lens. So the trick in doing the intrascleral tunnel technique is going 1.5 millimeters posterior to the limbus, perpendicularly, to perform a sclerotomy, and then to perform a 3 to 4 millimeter intrascleral tunnel using a fresh needle every time in order to get a clean pass of the needle through the sclera. After performing your 2 sclerotomies, which must be 180 degrees from each other, you can implant your foldable IOL, which has to be of the multi-piece type, in order to manipulate the haptics as seen here, grabbing the leading haptic by a vitrectomy forceps, 25 or 23 gauge, and pulling it out of the sclerotomy that you performed, always going with your leading haptic first while keeping your trailing haptic exteriorized in order not to have the lens fall backwards. And then you can duck the haptics into the tunnels either by pulling them through or by pushing them through. And once that has been done, the third problem that I had to tackle was, what am I going to do about the mydriasis? As you can see here, I'm testing the iris to see if it has any flexibility in order to be able to pull it without causing an iris dialysis. And so I passed 2 10-0 proline sutures, both superiorly as you can see here, and then another one inferiorly in order to pull the iris back down and to create a relatively normal looking pupil in order to prevent post-operative glare and halos. To my happiness, this patient did very well post-operatively with the best corrected visual acuity of 6/9. So the 3 main problems was how to remove the lens, how to implant an IOL, and how to pull the iris or the pupil back down. And this is what the eye looked like at the end. Thank you very much.